why your content isn't booking patients, and the 3-step system to fix it. Most local businesses aren't actually doing content marketing. Sure, they might have a logo on a page or a generic post every few weeks, but they call that a strategy and then wonder why the phone isn't ringing. If that sounds like your business, the reality is that nobody knows you exist yet. And the creators who are trying a bit harder usually get stuck in a different kind of trap. They spend their time chasing whatever trend a consultant told them was working, which leads to posting content that doesn't sound like them or even speak to their ideal audience. People see that lack of authenticity and they're going to scroll right past it. What you may not understand is that both of these problems come from the exact same place. So there's no system. So all you're creating is noise. And what actually works is running 2 types of content at the same time because they each have a very specific job to do. Traffic content gets you in front of the new people, and trust content makes those people stay, connect with you, and eventually book an appointment. No single video can do everything, but that's exactly where most business owners go wrong. They want to believe that one viral post is going to blow up and fix their entire business. But that isn't how this works. And it's really a simple combination of these 2 types of content running together over time that moves someone from never hearing of you to walking through your door. There are so many shortcuts and generic AI posts floating around the internet right now. The local business that shows up, shows their face, builds something real is the one that is going to stand out. It's not because they're the best at what they do, but because they're different. So right now, almost nobody in your local market is doing this correctly. I think that's very safe to say. Most agencies focus entirely on the algorithm instead of focusing on your business. Views look great in a monthly report because they justify the invoice you just paid, but views don't pay your staff and a follower count doesn't fill your schedule. So after 3 months of decent looking content, you might realize nothing has actually changed for you. And when you ask why the results aren't there, they usually just switch to a new strategy instead of admitting they never had a real plan to begin with. And I believe this failure usually comes down to 3 specific things that we see over and over again. Number 1, first thing is that the profile itself is often the problem. A lot of businesses set their accounts up incorrectly or let them sit for months before they ever try to post anything. And you have to think of these social media profiles like a matchmaker. Before the platform can connect you with local people who need your services, it has to understand who you are and where you're located. A broken or inactive profile just absolutely kills that match before a single video even goes up. And after that, the algorithm can't send you the right patients if it doesn't know you exist. Second, there is a absolute total lack of personality. Patients don't book appointments with the logo, especially an up-and-coming business or a small local business. They book them with the person they feel they can trust. So when your content consists of nothing but graphics and they're generic and nobody ever shows their face, there's nothing new for a viewer to connect with. And this forces them to compare you based on price alone. And that's a race to the bottom that you absolutely don't want to run. Third, you probably have 0 social proof. Someone landing on your page for the first time has no reason to trust you over the clinic 2 miles down the road. Without proof really baked into the content itself, you are literally asking a stranger to take a leap of faith with absolutely nothing to back it up. And this only gets harder because we're just way more skeptical than I think we've ever been. It's important to know that the specific style of the content isn't the real issue here. Whether the videos are funny, serious, or somewhere in between, we can build whatever works for your specific audience. The problem is almost always generic content that was never actually made for a specific person. And after well over 100 years of marketing, what makes someone trust you and take action hasn't changed just because the technology did. The businesses that are winning right now are building content around a human connection, not around the trending audio or other trends that are happening this week. Here's the exact system that we use, and the order of these steps is everything. Step 1 starts way before you ever hit the record button. We need to tell the algorithm exactly who you are and where you are. And we start by posting specific B-roll and targeted content that uses your location tags and category signals to essentially train Instagram on your specific market. Big problem is that most agencies just skip this part and then really wonder why their reach is just absolutely dead. But we do this so that when your main videos go live, the platform isn't really guessing who to show them to. This is very important for a profile that's been sitting dormant for a while. And for a local business, you want your content landing in front of people in your own city or territory who can actually walk through your doors and spend money with you. Not someone who's 3 states away who is absolutely never going to book an appointment with you. Step 2 is really about creating something that we call your cornerstone content. And this consists of specific videos that are pinned to your profile that essentially work for you 24 hours a day. These videos will cover items such as who you are, what your story is, and exactly who your services are for, so that every silent question a new viewer has really gets answered the moment they land on your page. Instead of being generic promo clips. And these are designed to turn a random stranger into a book discovery call. Everything else that we create for your channel feeds back into these 3 pillars, and they serve as the foundation that the rest of your digital presence is built upon. And in step 3, this is where we keep the momentum moving by putting out short form videos on a consistent schedule. We take those best performing clips and run them as targeted ads behind the scenes to drive local traffic back to the profile that we've already optimized. And this is really the point where paid and organic strategies finally become one single machine that brings in the right people while your profile builds the necessary trust and social proof. When paid traffic meets a high trust profile in the same place, that's the sweet spot, and that's usually when the phone starts ringing with leads who feel like they already know you, like you, and absolutely trust you. And we don't leave you to just figure things out on your own. When it comes to the actual filming, you aren't doing any of this alone, and you definitely don't need a production crew or even expensive gear. An iPhone and a basic mic are all you really need, and that's a very, very good thing because speed matters more than production value when it comes to this type of content. Think about it. The faster you can get content out, the faster trust starts building. Trust doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. It could take days, it could take weeks, it could take you months for some. And every single script we write for you comes directly from the real conversations you are already having with your customers every single day in the office. We take the way you explain a specific treatment or the common question your front desk hears every single week, and then we shape those into easy to read, easy to deliver scripts that are meant to connect with your audience. Most of us never get fully comfortable with it, and that's kind of the nature of the game here. But after a few sessions, most of our clients just stop even thinking about the camera because they realize they just need a solid system rather than a total personality overhaul. But there is one thing that we need to be clear before we talk, and that is the fact that this system only works if your business is actually ready to handle the growth. You need to make sure the phones are being answered and that every single DM or message is getting a fast response from your team. After creating over 1,000 plus videos the past year, one of the things we noticed that made it a lot more difficult with content was that these leads weren't being treated the same as if someone were to give you guys a call. We can bring local or ready to book patients to your inbox, but your office still has to be the one to open the door and welcome them in. And if your internal operations are solid, what we build together will make you the most visible and trusted option in your entire local market. The first results that you are going to notice usually aren't these massive viral explosions, but rather something that's much quieter and more sustainable. You will start hearing patients say they have been watching your videos for weeks before they finally decided to book. Or maybe somebody stops you at the grocery store because they recognize you from their feed. You might even check your local search results and realize that you're showing up in spots that maybe you couldn't even reach 6 months ago. And that happens because the content is finally doing exactly what it was designed to do. This is what it looks like when your marketing finally starts to compound and it keeps building on itself without you having to fight for every single lead every single month. And the people who are going to win in this business aren't going to be the ones who could gather the most leads. It's going to be the people who can nurture and retain the most customers. When we say done for you, we mean that we handle the research, the editing, the posting, and the ad testing while you just focus on being the face of the brand. And to start, you only need about 2 to 3 hours a month to film the scripts that we write for you. And what happens is that the more often you do this, the faster the process gets for you. Most clients tend to cut that time in half once they get really comfortable in front of the camera. Our entire job is to make sure the right people see your face while you stay focused on running your business. This doesn't need to be a side gig for you. Before you decide, let's really be honest about your other options. You could do nothing. That's absolutely a real choice. But while you wait, the clinic down the street is showing up on the feeds. They're building trust. They're booking patients that would have come to you. And in 2026, doing nothing is essentially falling behind. Choice number 2, you can do it all yourself. And some people do. In fact, some people are really good at it and they absolutely love it. But if you're an absolute beginner, you really could be looking at hundreds of hours just to even learn what works. Then more hours every week to write, film, edit, post. Let's face it, you didn't get into business to become a full-time content creator. Your time is worth way more than that. Another option is you could hand it off to a junior employee who gets social media. A lot of businesses have been going this route for years. They find someone young on the team who uses Instagram and figures that's close enough. But knowing how to scroll is not the same as knowing how to build a pipeline. Social media has matured beyond the point of being a hobby and is now considered a specialist. Traffic content and trust content could be your entire patient acquisition system. It's worth millions of dollars over the life of your business. And handing that responsibility to an untrained employee is like brain surgeon asking their medical assistant to perform the surgery. Now, I will say this isn't for everyone. I want to be very upfront about that. If you're still figuring out who your ideal patient is, this system wouldn't be the best choice for you yet. We build content around a specific person with a specific problem. And if that target isn't clear, the message just won't land. If your team isn't picking up the phone, isn't responding to DMs, or isn't following up on missed calls, probably not going to be the best fit for you. See, we can bring people to your door, but someone on your end has to be the one to answer the door. Fix those systems first, then come back. This works best when your office is really ready to handle the leads that start coming in. If after all this I haven't scared you away, your business systems are solid, and maybe I haven't offended you, go ahead and book a free 15-minute call with us today. It's not a sales pitch, it's a real look at your market and exactly what we built for you. The link is right below this video.